Loud.
Okay.
All right.
Hey,
Right.
hello everybody. Welcome to our second Meet the Judge. Tonight, I have the great honor of introducing you to Lou Jones. Lou Jones is a master photographer, has been doing this for 5 or 10 years now. Um, he has a really fantastic career that covers all kinds of photography, and we're really honored to have him here. So, Lou, I'm going to go ahead and turn it right over to you, and I would like you to give yourself your own introduction. Thank you for being
Absolutely.
here.
Can you hear me and everything?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm for probably most of you don't know who I am. I'm Lou Jones and I'm a photographer, as are all of us, I'm sure. But I have been photographing and doing it for as a career for longer than most of you have been alive. So Bobby was teasing you a little bit about my only being doing this for 5 or 10 years. So anyway, I have a commercial studio in Boston. I still run a commercial studio with employees and everything who keep me on airplanes and pay the bills and put up light stands and everything like that. And we continue to do advertising agencies and design studios and that kind of thing. We have done a lot of editorial in the past. I've photographed in, I think, as last count, 65 foreign countries on assignment. And I've done 13 Olympic Games. Unfortunately, I missed this one. This past, we just ended. I was sick to see it happening without me being there, but a lot of different things. Clients have dried up. All the Sports Illustrateds and things like that that have been clients over the years are no longer in existence. So anyway, but Lee and Bobby have asked me to judge this upcoming exhibition, help judge. And they asked me to show some pictures that are my career, but also the way I have at least formulated it is to sort of show a little bit, just a little bit, inkling of what I might be looking for or what my career has allowed me to look for in the past. And so I'm gonna, um, I'm gonna try. We had just a little bit of luck with this in the before in how to. Wait a minute, it's not working again. Share. Okay. Can
There you go.
everybody see that now?
Yes.
Kind of see half of it. There you go.
Yeah,
Now,
you can only see half of it, you're
now
saying?
we got the whole thing. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try. I'm not sure it's gonna work now, but I'm gonna try. Oh no, I guess it's gonna be, that's all it's gonna give me, right? It's not gonna allow me to make it any bigger. Okay, anyway, if everybody can see it,
Yes.
um, that's me. So anybody wants to contact me and et cetera, please do so. But I'm going to show, yeah, that's what I thought it was going to do. It's not allowing me to go. It did it before. Why isn't it doing it now?
What are you
You have
trying to
your own
do?
soda company too?
I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah. I wish. I've contacted them and talked to the president several years ago. I'm not sure why I can't get the.
Can you just use your your keyboard advance, hit the right.
Yes, the keyboard advance is not working. That's what I'm yelling at. That's all right. So what I'm going to try to do it is do it one at a time. There you go.
There you go.
All right. So I'm looking, like I said, I've been doing this for so long that a lot of my early work was in, of course, in black and white. So I have a tremendous love of black and white, and so people who will submit in black and white are will reach my heart. So that's a big part of what the kinds of things I'm looking for. So you don't have to be worried about that kind of component. again, I'm going to go, but years and years ago, against the grain, I adapted color and have mainly made color my primary source of images. And so this was in St. Petersburg, Russia. This is White Knights, and I love my color, and I want people to do and try to show me exciting ways to use color, not just the things happen to be in color, but use color for what it's worth. Um, I want people to take chances. I want people to not just take what's in front of them, but to take chances with that. I really respect people who are a little bit adventurous. This is a photograph from the top of the Tobin Bridge that I did for an annual report, but I use it just to illustrate the kind of, and I'm not talking about necessarily physical chances, risking your life or anything like that. I mean taking chances with the idiom of photography, with your own, with the way you look at things. I would really, really, really respect that as a. I keep hitting the forward button.
Ooh.
I think that there are rules that photographic organizations put out in front of their membership that help with the learning process of photography. But I reject most of those rules, and I try to say that people should find new perspectives, new ways, getting up high, going way down low, going around. One of the things used to talk to my students was that when you look at a picture, and it may be a great photograph, take that photograph. But often what I do is go around to the other side. So I shoot a lot of things from up high. This is photography. I don't use drones, but this was done from a helicopter. Please, though, if you are using drones and you can find some way of using the drone differently, I would love to see that kind of thing. Graphics. Photography for photography's sake, using graphics as the element rather than necessarily having a point of view necessarily that is obvious. Using graphics, just photography is so important in being able to show what we actually see and combining things that are reality in very, very clear ways. I keep pushing that. Hopefully, I can get this to work. Events. Many photographers, hopefully, that will submit or thinking about submitting, may go and cover events. It may be photojournalistic. It may be because they are part of the cause. This is the Olympics. Winter Olympics, actually, they're very similar to the ones that we just saw. And so, but I often see people going to events and just pointing their cameras at the things that are happening. And I find that very boring. So just going to a Black Lives Matter or an ICE or LGBTQ rally and just taking pictures of people with signs is not something I'm really very interested in. I want people to really tell stories at these kinds of events. Still life. I really would love to see those people who use still life as their medium. Photography in still life. It's not just people, it's not just things, it's actually formulating. And I don't care that it may be a still life of something they see a pear on the shelf of a window with a strange shadow is just as important to me as this kind of thing where every little element is being placed and things like that. But I want people to really, like I said, be adventurous with even those very, very, very simple things. Please, please show still life. I'd love to see some really wonderful, groundbreaking still lifes in this exhibit. Um, they don't have to be just happenstance photographs. Um, Bobby and Lee and I know they all know the stories about the difference between making and taking photographs. A lot of my career is making photographs where I control everything in the photograph. The costuming, the place, the locations, uh, the colors and or not the colors, the models, all of that being part of creating and generating my view of the world or my non-view of the world. And so this is a kind of photograph we do this is a big, big project that we've been working on for years, all in black and white, but all about my dreams. So they are they are me trying to literally bring my dreams to life. And I think photography is especially gifted in being able to do that. Let's see. But see it, take it. This is in Paris. This is a job I did several years ago on a book on Paris. And so I see something. In this particular case, I went back and knew I wanted this famous fountain, but I wanted it at a certain time of day where I'm using what we call in that studio magic blue so that the water and all of that is emphasized even more. And again, it's a very, very graphic kind of image, and I love that. But it doesn't have you don't have to make the photograph. You can, in fact, just take it. And I'm just as amenable to that. Street photography. I love street photography. I've been doing that. That's how I started. This picture was taken a long, long time ago for the city of Boston for the bicentennial, actually. This is the 2026. This year is the 50th anniversary of the bicentennial. And so we're repeating a lot. Going around and photographing a lot of what 50 years later looks like compared to the bicentennial in 1976. And so this was done in Roxbury in Boston, and it's now part of a major collection at a museum. And but I love street photography. So those people who buckle up and put a camera around their neck and walk around the streets and take pictures of just what they see, I'm really respectful of. Am I doing okay, Bobby?
Sorry, yes, you're doing great. I'm loving all this, Lou. This is excellent. Keep going.
Okay. But to turn around and those photographers who really like to control everything, this is done for a major client, and it's on Broadway, right on Broadway, and we chose the time of day, so we got our magic blue again. We had to hire police to keep the crowds back. We brought in this is a choreographer for Lin, what's his name? Manuel, what's his name? The fellow who did Hamilton, the wonderful songwriter and playmaker. Anyway, and so this is a kind of photograph. So all that we brought our own lights and generators in order to generate light and everything. So we control everything. So anybody that submits and puts that kind of effort and really works hard to get photographs is really, I really respect people who work really hard in making pictures. But this is the Olympics. This is the Olympics. This is Summer Olympics, Barcelona several years ago. And I'm very interested in street photography, as I showed you. But when you are able to do those kinds of pictures where you're seeing and juxtaposing, sometimes contrasting, sometimes complementary pieces together so that you're telling these kinds of very complex stories. This is the high dive at the Olympics, and I happened to see the Sagrada Familia. The day before, I happened to see the Sagrada Familia off in the distance. And so me and my assistant snuck down over the hill, over the hedge, and snuck down into position to be able to get this photograph so that you see the one of the most famous churches in the world in the background over Barcelona, and yet we see the competitors competing and doing the high dive and things like that. The only problem is that my assistant got arrested and he got thrown in jail because we weren't supposed to be there. But I got pictures. They didn't get me, so I got good pictures, and then um, I bailed him out later, so I'm not such a bad guy. Portraiture. If you're submitting and you do portraiture, please do. I love really wonderful. But again, I'm seeing a lot of the schools. I'm looking at portfolios coming out of the young people in schools and things like that. And I'm seeing a lack of ingenuity, a lack of effort in making new pictures. So if you're a portrait photographer, um, please put that effort in and show me something different. It's not just I see someone I think is attractive and I take a picture. That's been done millions, probably billions, probably trillions of times. And most of those pictures, many of them are very good. They're people we like, they're pictures we like, we're very proud of, but we've got to do something new and different to get into the show. That's what we're very, very interested in. Travel, go places. But again, just like with the portraits, do something different. Don't just go to the Eiffel Tower and take a picture of something I've seen before. Let me see something different about, in many cases, when I do travel stories, I want to feel, I want to feel that I'm showing people. I want to feel that you're taking with that photograph. I want to feel that I'm there. So please give me really good travel photographs. And even when you do the iconic pictures, the iconic places, make them different. But you don't have to go halfway around the world to make good pictures. You can do them right in your backyard. You can do them in your town, in your neighborhood. Do them at your own work. Do what you do. Show me what you do. Make an interesting picture. If you're an accountant, make that interesting for me. If you're a medical professional, Show me something about the way you make a living, something you know something about. That's the kind of thing. I want to see that soul in your pictures. I want to see your soul, your knowledge, your passion in those pictures. And it, like I said, they can be right next door. Going back to still life again, um, it's such a time-honored way for artists to express themselves, combining elements that are complementary or contrasting in a picture and putting things together and rearranging and moving them around so that they have weight and weight. And I've talked often about many, probably nobody here has ever heard me talk about it, but that's what I consider to be composition. It's not rule of thirds and things like that. It's weight, W-A-I-T and W-E-I-G-H-T. You wait for something, you put something together, you put it, you arrange it, or something has weight. It has weight because of its color, because of its size, because of its character, and you move that around in the frame. Please do that. Show me something different with still life and with all photographs, actually. And take chances. Make me feel. Make me feel the urgency, even in the still life, but especially with people. The urgency of photograph. Photography is so, 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 so special in that it can show spontaneity. It can show suddenness. It can show motion. It can show urgency. It can show danger. It can show things like that. It can show softness and pleasure. Go somewhere else with those pictures and make me and surprise me. So graphics. I always go back. Make the picture. Make the pic. Don't just take the picture. In unless there's something that's really exciting going on, make the picture. Move 10 feet. Like I said, going up high, going down low, changing perspective. Make those pictures different. And I love those people who do surreal photographs. Take and make photography can be so surreal. We talk about painting being surreal, but photography can do everything that anybody's painting can do in reality if we're strong enough to go there and do it. And that's last but not least. I hope I didn't go over my time. How are we doing?
That's great. No, it's perfect, actually.
Just right there, Lou. That was fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you.
I have to say that this was a very, very powerful presentation and a tremendous amount of insight into photography in general, but also for helping people really think about what it is that they're trying to accomplish in their image making. And I really like the way that you said things, and I'm gonna steal this from you. I like the weight and the weight.
Thank you.
I'm definitely going to be
Excellent.
talking about that in my classes because I think that was a beautiful way to put it. And it's having that patience, but also finding out what is the essence, what is it that's really going on. So
That's right.
that was
Well, the weight very often is you wait 125th, or you wait a day, you wait a season, you wait for those fall leaves, you wait for years for things to happen. So
Right.
that's the wait. You wait, you see something, and then you wait for somebody to move into it to make the picture more. But the wait is the battleship is bigger than the feather, but the feather is the thing that you're interested in. So you figure out ways to make the feather have more weight than the battleship in
Right.
a photograph. So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Thank
The
you.
people who are here, if you want to unmute,
Yes,
if anybody wants to ask a question.
Yeah,
please, please,
please.
please.
Hi, I have a question.
Okay.
Yes. Now tell me
Um,
who you are. Who you
uh,
are.
I'm John Adelman. I'm here in Plymouth, and I that's a great presentation, by the way. I got a lot out of that.
Thank you.
Uh, I'm sure you use post-processing in your photos, and my opinion is that almost any photo can benefit from some level of post-processing, but I see a lot of pictures that are way overdone. What's your feeling about post-processing?
Well, I think that maybe your organization may have to give me a little bit of help and guidelines as to what you think um, should be allowed in and what is still called photography. And I think, we haven't had that conversation, and it is actually very controversial right now.
Well, we do have it in the prospectus, Lou, so I'll make
Oh,
sure that you have all that information.
okay. We tend to do a moderate amount of post processing, but we do, back in the day when we went into the dark room, so we might open up shadows, and we might uh, uh, dial down hot spots. We might clean up faces, and especially in commercial work. But for our photojournalistic work, we tend to not do too much. Now, that has nothing to do with what I'm going to look at in people's work, because I think that some people are combining photographs and doing other things, triptychs and overlays and things like that. And if that's allowed by the perspectives that you tell me, I will pay attention to that and allow that. But I find that really creative people are doing some amazing things with photography. Once we start to get into artificial intelligence, you're going to have to tell me a little bit
Yeah,
about how far I
basically,
can go with that.
we're not going to be allowing anything that's generated by artificial intelligence.
Gotcha.
However, in Photoshop, there are things like generative fill. You could replace an object with something as long as it doesn't completely violate the original camera-based image.
Gotcha.
It's
And
acceptable.
that's very important, and I respect that, because I actually see real benefit in being able to have, I remember a few years ago, I showed a portfolio and I showed a photograph of a car being chased by a helicopter that took me several days to put together, and renting helicopters and renting long lenses and getting this park rangers to close down the park road that we could run along to do the photograph. And the kid said, "Why didn't you do that in Photoshop?" And you go, I said, maybe I've lived too long and I've been doing this for too long. But I said, what was the fun in that? Not that but we're seeing artificial intelligence being used in ways that are really, but if I'm going to respect your rules and regulations and say
Yeah.
that. Does that answer your question? I probably doesn't
Yeah,
answer your question, but
yeah. I really wasn't talking about AI in
yes.
particular, but sometimes people apply these heavy filters and so on, and it a lot of times takes away from the original image.
If they do it well,
Yeah,
I'm
if you do it well, you won't know it.
that's exactly
Right.
right.
That's a
Well,
good
Exactly right.
question. Yeah,
let's just say we're open to creative applications of camera art.
Right.
Okay, so if you do something that takes it out of being something generated by a camera,
Right. And there's a lot of
camera
that
could
being
be a
done. I have a
pinhole, could be a pinhole camera, could be anything that captures an image. That's okay. It's when you fully generate something just using artificial intelligence, that's not allowed. But
okay.
compositing images, filters on photos, it's all good. But that doesn't mean, just when you run a filter on a photo does not mean it's going to make it better.
Right.
So, you know,
Okay.
Right. Just because there's sliders there doesn't mean that you need to put them all the way over to the right.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have a question. It's
Yes.
me, Jim. So when you showed your body of work, you showed different categories and stuff you like, and it included sports and street art and commercial. So as a judge, is this supposed to be a fine art photography
Ooh,
exhibit?
good point.
Do you consider all those other categories fine art? Like, is a good sports photo considered art?
Ooh, good point. Are you asking me or are you asking the rules?
I'm asking you because you're going
Okay.
to judge.
Well, actually,
And I'd love to hear your opinion
we've got
anyway.
another judge on the line. Where is he? Where is he still on?
Yeah,
Is
Shiv is
Shiv
right
here?
there.
Shit,
Yes, I
where are
am.
you?
I'm right here.
Okay, what do you think?
Well, I think it's an expression, and we as judges need to see what is being expressed. And if a photograph is an activity, it can as well be fine art based on how it's represented.
Right. I often used to, I don't teach anymore, but I always used to say to my students, not everybody is an artist, but everybody can create a work of art. And I think that if somebody takes, I exhibit my sports photography in museums. The purpose for the photograph originally was to maybe show ski jumping, but hopefully, as I said in several of the pictures there, that I'm trying to do something a little bit different from my colleagues, and I make something different, and I think that it's worthy of putting up on a museum wall. Calling that art may be a matter of opinion, but I think it's worthy of showing to people and showing it as something special.
For me, the Barcelona picture was very artistic because
Thank
it
you.
wasn't just sports. It was showing a sense of place.
Yes.
Right. Well, I do a lot of pictures where, and I was slapped on the wrist 30 years ago, maybe longer, probably longer than that, by a dance photographer, not dance, by a dancer, Boston Ballet. I did their annual report years ago, and a dancer slapped me on the wrist and he said, dance is motion. He hated the photographs that most of us were taking. He said, dance is motion and we're freezing the frame. And it taught me an enormous lesson. And so I've tried to often add and figure out ways to add motion to my dance and my sports photography. And so it's a different way. You know, Sports Illustrated wasn't always going to publish it in the double page spread in the middle of the book, but it hangs on a wall in a museum. So,
Okay.
Well,
Anybody
Lou, would
else
you
have a
agree
question?
that you can
Oh, sorry.
express motion without actually having motion?
yes.
Well, that's just about waiting longer.
Yeah.
There you go. You can often, that is one way of dealing. It's not the only way, but it is one way of dealing with it. And I've invented probably a half a dozen different techniques, all of which are pure photography, but that add some element that implies motion more than implies, but actually shows motion in a abstract way. Yes.
I'm Peter. Excuse me. You showed us a wide range of photographs.
Yes.
Um, very different styles, very different places, approaches. A wonderful set of photographs. By the way, I wish I was you. The but is there a set of, you talk about you don't believe in the rules, the rule of threes and all that. You don't believe in rules, but is there a set of concepts that would encompass this entire group of photographs that you gave us? It's being shot by one guy, and what are the concepts that, when you get right down to it, what are the concepts? You're like, I have a few in my head that when I take pictures, because I do a lot and I can't get around much anymore, so I do still lifes now. But the but there are concepts and that I use, and have you articulated those? I mean, the weight and weight was wonderful.
Oh,
As a basic concept, the idea that you're looking for things to be different is one of the concepts. But have you articulated the whole group of them?
I am trying to do that. And I've spent most of my life trying to but in point of fact, I'm constantly, and I don't mean this to be just to be uh, provocative, but still spending a lot of my time trying to find new ways to make photography. But the one concept that I hold for me in my studio to still is that, as Lee was sort of mentioned, it is real photography. It's not painting, drawing, it's not illustration, it's not photo using technologies. It's real pictures. So for at least an instant, even if I make a photograph and it can't be like that for one instant, it actually exists in front of me. So that's sort of, and I really, really do spend a lot of time. And the overriding thing about my pictures, this has nothing to do with your uh, applicants for the exhibition. I want them to surprise me, but I'm trying to figure out how to make photography. One of the things I discovered on my latest project, and I'm being selling here, but my latest project, which is Pan Africa, well, I'm trying to photograph every country in Africa. One of the things I discovered almost 10 years ago when I started doing this project is that photography is the universal language. It has
Absolutely.
transcended all other art forms, and especially spoken and written words, in that we don't need a translator. We don't need to, people in Peru can show pictures to people in Sri Lanka and still understand what the world looks like. And we can transcend. And one of the reasons that it is so universal, and this is something you guys are all smart. I'm not a smart guy, so I discovered it recently, was because social media allows me to show pictures halfway around the world and communicate in real time what I'm seeing or what I want you to see And you don't need to know where I am or what I'm doing or whatever. You can see what people can see what they look like halfway around the world, even if they don't know the context always. The universal language, as close as we get to the universal language. And so you asked me a question. I'm sure again, I'm not sure I'm answering it, but
You and more.
okay, I'm sorry. I'll shut up then.
No, and more.
No,
And
no,
I
no.
got one
No,
more
no, it's
question.
great.
I got one more question. Did I see some code? Did I see some Kodachrome in your pictures that you've taken?
I'm going to tell you, shh, don't tell anybody. I broke the rules years ago. A lot I had to re-break, but Kodak used to send the truck to my studio every day to pick up the Kodachrome and drop off the Kodachrome. We were using so much that they said, "Hey, you don't have to put it in a crate and get a bicycle messenger to take it. We'll drop it off and save you the money of having to deliver." But they literally came to my studio every day because we use so much. If you come to my studio, you will see millions of millions of
Uh,
slots.
yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, folks. One more question. Anybody have a final question here? Okay, well, I think then that we're going to wrap it up. And again, I just want to say, Lou, this was really a fantastic
Mhm.
presentation. Very inspiring and very you use the word provocative, but I think that that's a good word in terms of getting people to think about things and to provoke new ways of looking at things, emotions, the impact, all of that. I think it was really tremendous, a tremendous way to look at your images and to explain what it is that you're thinking about. So thank you so very, 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 very much, Lou. It was really an honor to have you here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me and giving me the privilege. I'm going to tell you one little quick story.
Okay.
Um, I about a half a week ago, maybe a little bit more, I got an email from a fraternity brother I haven't seen in more than 50 years,
Wow.
who was on your board of directors for a while. I haven't seen him, and he saw that I was being a judge, and so he contacted me. So isn't that wonderful?
That's
Wow.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Small world.
Yep.
So I want to remind everybody that Shiv is tomorrow night. So please come on back and tell your friends and spread the word.
Thank you.
This will be recorded and it will be available then that anybody wants to come back and see it or share it with anybody else. So you can check back with the PCA and we will be sending out the link to all the judges, including Nancy's last week and Shiv's tomorrow. So thank you all for being here. Stay safe and warm, and
Right.
hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you. Hey,
Bye.
Lou, you have to stop the recording.
I'm stopping it.
Oh,
No,
oh,
I claimed it back.
Oh, you got it back? Okay.
oh, you
Okay.
got it back.
Bye, everybody.
Okay.
All right.